you know, uh, imagine,
Or
doing that.
or
So
or maybe I guess a better question would be is to like how willing is Palmius to get into like a bar fight once he's had a few?
if, if I'm bothered, then yeah, I'd say I'd get into it.
Yeah, maybe Vox and Ebrath. Hold up.
Oh, did we lose Ron?
He said he'd be right back. What does your new skill do, so? You get extra critical damage, or what is it?
I think I get an extra weapon die if I roll a crit on my hit.
Oh shit. Okay, so like I don't know.
Let
I
me
was
see.
I was thinking like how could you kind of get a little bit of story out of how that happened?
Yeah.
Like maybe you learned a new
Brutal
fighting technique, or
critical.
like maybe you worked with like a blacksmith to sharpen the shit out of your blade, and he taught you how to do that. There's some cool stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, or even like, you're in a town with a militia that's really doing its best to, help the people in the area. Maybe, you're looking for sparring partners and you have a shitload there, something like that.
Yeah.
Or like someone really cool that you met that kind of taught you like, oh, here's a different technique, or here's how you're gonna do better or whatever. Like a mentor.
Yo, can you
Yeah.
guys hear this music coming through or no?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Are you doing that on Elbear?
No, I was just trying to do it through my Spotify, but I think I would have to share that screen for that to work.
Yeah, and there's a share audio option usually when you do that too.
When I do it through Spotify?
Through Zoom, like if you do Zoom like screen share, I think
Mhm.
there's an option where it says use computer sound or whatever,
Oh, okay. Let me see if I
something
can.
like that. Because that's what I used to do for a while. I'm guessing Emma woke up.
Oh yeah, could be it. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, here we go. Can you hear that?
No,
Nope.
Really? Because I did that through Zoom.
you did the share sound though, because you have to
Yeah,
specifically click on share sound.
I hit share sound. Hmm. Oh, how about now?
I heard something.
Oh, I kind of hear something. I definitely hear like some kind of instrument, but it's
Yeah.
super quiet. There. Okay, turn it down a little bit. So just remember that if it's licensed music, Ronnie won't be able to post it on YouTube.
Oh no, well, I don't know.
That
I
holds
mean,
me back a lot from shit.
it's on Spotify. It's just a lo-fi fantasy beats list.
Okay, because I know previously he got some shit about that. Can't hear you, Ronnie.
No, can't hear you.
Okay, hear me?
No, I can hear you now.
There.
Okay, cool. How about
Can you
now?
hear the music?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
So Ronnie, is that gonna work for your YouTube thing?
I mean, I don't think it picks up the audio anyway. Um,
Oh yeah, that's the problem we were having, right?
yeah.
Because when we were sharing it through this, it wasn't playing. This is kind of more just for our ambiance, I guess.
Wasn't it through Owlbear that it
Yeah.
wasn't showing up?
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe this would. Someone should
It
check the
should,
live stream.
anyways.
Someone should check the stream.
Oh, I never posted it, huh?
Turn it down just a tiny bit, Andre,
Yeah,
if
it's
you
kind
can.
of loud.
It's pretty loud.
Better?
Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Right there, right there. Leave it.
I haven't changed since I originally turned it down.
Oh, it sounds like it's like fluctuating heavily.
It might just because it's an outside streaming service trying to.
Yeah, and I think our inputs are like trying to neutralize it as background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Edgar's back.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Edgar, we were just kind of going over like how to explain like your level up in character, like what Tybalt have been up to these past couple weeks, like just as he like focuses on himself to like reach these new levels of like power.
Yeah. With Tybalt, he'd be spending it with Marigold.
Andre, can you turn that off? Because it like cuts in and out and it's kind of distracting.
Yeah.
Be spending
Thanks.
with Marigold at the temple, just trying to learn from their customs, sort
Mhm.
of how they channel their deity powers.
Yeah. If you want to play music, I would say share it through Owlbear because I think it doesn't like get picked up
It
as an
seems more
input.
stable.
can't-
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Zoom's trying to like
Yeah.
noise reduction it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would have to sign in, no?
Yes, please sign in.
You can't anymore, right? Albert? Bueno?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I have I had to make an account through Albert 2.0. I'll figure this out.
But yeah, so no, that makes sense. Just kind of like spending time in the temple and just putting in your like hours basically, and like learning from them and how they do things and
Right.
cool. And then what about you, Vox? What has Vox been up to?
So it's been a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I would have definitely there's a couple of things here. I feel like I would have traveled to visit Falcon because I feel like he was a couple of days, maybe a week total to
No,
where
he would be pretty far. He's like in the Neverwinter Woods, so that would be quite like it would probably be like a week and a half journey just to get to there.
even with my proficiency in forest.
I would say so, yeah, because that's like I mean that's wagon time, you know.
Okay, then that would not have happened. Give me a second.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't know how long a few weeks was.
I was thinking like 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's too far. I would have most likely been spending a lot of time with my swarm. And as part of that, I think incorporating myself, or what's the right word here? Assimilating their behaviors and their way of life in a way to where it's like they only sting when necessary, right? Most of my swarm is not like the aggressive hunting type that's like they kill when they need to. And I think I would have been picking up on that, spending increasingly more and more time with the swarm and all of the little creatures that inhabit it. In addition to, you know, my larger swarm now, which to me, like family is a swarm, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean biological family. It's like that includes chosen family. And despite having some rockiness with a couple of our swarm it's still like that brother-sister relationship in a weird way, right? Where it's like you can't trust them as far as you can throw them farther than you can trust them, kind of thing. And as part of that assimilation into my swarm's culture, I feel like at a certain point, I start growing scales that protrude through my jacket. Because right now I'm wearing scale armor, and that's basically like covered with that heavy leather coat that I have, my duster. And so I feel like I would have picked up on that from my swarm on like how to grow protective scales and like more than scales, just coating. Like they have that hard exterior where even for an insect, you know, that shit's really tough, right? They're tiny and it's like, damn, you really got to smash that shit to kill it. Well, like if that was life sized, that's basically what I'm kind of the transformation that my body's going through. And I would say anybody that sort of spent a good amount of time with me would see that there were like kind of these weird halfway little transformation glitches where like you might have seen I start to change shape just like for half a second and it like deceives you. It's like, do I really believe what I just saw? Where you're kind of like, what the fuck was that? And yeah, I'll say that that's what I've been doing in my downtime.
Cool. So as you guys are sitting around the table here in your new estate, you hear the crackling of the fire, nearby as you guys are kind of sitting down, and you guys have a map in front of you, kind of discussing and maybe preparing yourself for the like next task, which would be finding this location that is on the map and getting ready for that journey as you like eagerly anticipate hearing from Valdi Estepar, the person in charge of the docks here in Leylon. What are you guys kind of talking about? What are you guys?
Oh, question. So after in these 3 weeks, would I have been able to complete all 3 projects that I've been working on with Breltora?
No,
Damn, really?
son. I haven't made them in D&D Beyond yet.
Bro.
Okay. Give me a quick list of things that we're making, and I'll see if I can get them done.
So I was making
I need like written out stuff though, like on Discord.
okay, I'll work on that right now while you guys keep talking.
Cool. Yeah.
Also, how do I share music on Owlbear?
That's a good question. You can't just.
I'm not seeing the option anywhere.
Damn, I don't know if we can actually.
Yeah, I notice it's not readily visible
Yeah,
like the
that's weird.
previous version.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Just like I said, you couldn't.
Huh?
It's almost like I said you couldn't with Albert 2.0.
Did you say that?
Yep. You can use Kanku FM.
Oh, I think I have Kenku FM though. The only extension I see is this Jin music player though. Oh well. Damn, I guess we'll have to figure something else out.
So okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh well. Cool. Yeah. So you guys are sitting around the table. What are you guys talking about? Tight.
What's the I'm sorry, I would normally jump in on this, but I'm trying to make that list.
Yeah.
Edgar,
We're at our
what,
manor.
yeah,
Yeah.
Edgar, what's the enchantment that you want? Taken off of your cloak, what is it?
Off of the cloak, it's the cloak gives me it's a cloak. Cloak of protection gives me
Okay.
+1 bonus to
No, that's
AC
fine.
and saving.
He can find the enchantment. I just need to know what it's called so we can Google the original.
Yeah, cloak of protection
And what do you want it on?
on the amulet of the
Amulet of the what?
devout.
Okay, so for that one, I would say we would probably be able to like work the amulet into the cloak. That way you can. Do you not want to wear the cloak?
I need to attune to both, and I can't. On
Yeah,
cloak,
he just didn't want them to be separate items.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to join them so I can
Well, so then I
reap
guess
the benefits.
we'll say that for the sake of like RP, that like you guys have been able to find a way to like work the amulet into like the chain that connects the cloak
Yeah, make it
and
into
like
the
holds it onto
brooch.
him. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I work, so yeah. So can, I was gonna say, can this be like, I was asking that to see like, can this be how like me presenting everybody with their items?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'll be like, I'll say that like I wasn't in the room and, I come in and I have like, 3 boxes and I'm in like, and I fucking kick open the doors, those double doors into like our main room. I'm like, guys, I have it. And like these boxes are huge. Like it's like fucking comically huge in my hands. Like I'm fucking like struggling, like almost to where you're like, how did he even make it this far? Holding
Yeah.
these fucking items.
Yeah.
Then I'm in like my regular, I would say I'm in like my workshop clothes. So like plain gray tunic, um, fucking covered in like soot and like ash. I'm like, guys, and I'm like fucking struggling to fucking like Elias taking his first steps, just fucking weeble wobbling all over the place, and
Yeah.
then I like reach up and like I fucking put them on the table, and like right here, and I get up on the chair, and I'm like, all right, I have it, and so I'll take the first box and like take it off, and the first box is more of like a like a very basic but like well-made wooden, like a shallow wooden chest that's maybe 2 feet long, 8 feet high, with no clasp, it just open. So I open it and you see this blade that is about a foot long that goes into a handle. Well, actually, no, the blade's probably about 2 feet long, but somewhere around midway, there's a handle that protrudes with a brass guard where you can tell it's meant to be worn on someone's hand. Think like like the Strider games.
Yeah.
Think like the sword tonfa kind, not as long as his sword tonfa, but like kind of like that, right?
So
And
I want to add a little bit of flair to that,
sure.
for the sake of Fox, because I am going to basically create this armband or armband sword like you're talking about, but I'm going to combine it with his arrow catching shield. So I'm going to say
Ooh.
that like it's 2 armbands that kind of like sit on his forearms or whatever, and then he can like activate it basically when he like pulls it out, and like each one would have like half a shield so that like he could put his arms together and like block,
Oh,
like a
sick.
full
Oh
shield,
yeah.
but with each one having like its own little like piercer fucking like sword stabby guy.
A shield
So
spike.
okay, so it would have been 2 that I made, not one.
Yeah, they'd be like a
Okay,
pair.
a pair. Okay, because that's what I was asking
Fuck
originally, was
yeah.
like that was just gonna be one. Okay, so yeah, so they're both matching, and I pick up one and it's like pretty heavy for me. You know, like let's say it's like each one's like 5 pounds, which,
Mhm.
you know, in a something like along like a short sword, that'd be fairly heavy. But being that the center of gravity is based right around your fist, it's not going to be unwieldy for someone of your size. I hand you the first one and I go, go put it on. And I go to grab the second in the box and I place it in front of you at the table.
As soon as I take it from you, my very first gut instinct is to see if it makes me feel like the flail did. Where when I would pick it up, it was like, I won't say it was a feeling of dread, but it was more of a feeling of like that. How do I describe it? Like when something doesn't cause you dread because you know you just overcame it. Like, you know, if you guys have ever had anything that's symbolic to you where like you've overcome a big struggle in your life or something, and just that icon, it's so important.
Yeah.
But it's almost like anxiety inducing.
Yeah, like it's like the idea of overcoming that obstacle fills you with this like overwhelming sense of pride and relief, but thinking back on those memories leaves like a dirty taste in your mouth almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, you nailed it. So I'd say that that's kind of what goes on through me, being that it has sort of that same energy that's been repurposed, but probably less so now. I think just a little touch, like more um, adjusted to that feeling, to where now it's almost like it feels comfortable to have that weird little uneasiness within me. And I'll grab it and just like picture it's just like arm plates almost with like a shield spike strapped on there. So I'll grab it, like tighten down the two straps that hold it on, and it feels like a pretty good fit. And I'll kind of just swing around at the air for a second, sort of getting my like accuracy or like my calibration down on like how I'm gonna hit people or whatever. I'd say I'd probably even find like maybe there's a shitty looking table or something around, or like even a serving tray that's just wooden that I know is like kind of on its last leg, and I'll just bam and slam into it.
And the
And
whole
it seems
go ahead, sorry.
it seems pretty effective, right, Ronnie?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels sturdy as fuck. So as that happens and I confirm that this thing's a fucking cool ass weapon, I turn back to Abrath. Thank you so much for going through the trouble of making this for me. I know we still have some things that we'll work on, and I still I'm trying, Abrath. I'm trying, but all of that aside, thank you so much. Thank
So
you
like
for helping me repurpose this into something that is so much more meaningful and that'll help us all so much more on the front line.
so the whole time you would have like put it on, tried the weight, you know, whipped it around with some, you know, mock jabs and slashes. Ebrath's just watching you, like his eyes alight, like just this immense sense of pride in his work coming through, but also a sense of warmth that, you know, you can tell he's proud of not only the craftsmanship and the work that he was able to do with Breltora, but that he could give you um, a repurposed tool with hopefully a little less of that, you know, negative feeling attached to it, a little more of, you know,
Empowerment.
And you know, a little bit of a symbol of Ebrest friendship, you know. And I'll say
So real quick though, I gotta ask, the kyber crystals, do they like glow, or like what am I seeing in the
I would say, yeah,
marksmanship?
that like as you channel your like own
Workmanship, I mean.
innate magical energy, like whatever magic you pull from, like it would react to that in some way.
Okay, so like if I'm even casting like little minor cantrips and stuff, it almost kind of starts to glow.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
and probably especially if he's using like his shield catching ability, right? Like um that so I'll be like, oh, so like you see like his eyes light up and say, oh, of course, no, no, you know, no rush, no pressure. You're like, and then you know, the smirk will kind of just creep on his face, and I'll be like, um, go ahead and look on the inside of the hand grip. So on the inside of the hand grip, on that first piece of bronze or a brass that fits right onto the end of like the leather wrapped handle, you'll see two sets of initials. You'll see a stylized B for Beltora with like a kind of like a really minimalist hammer worked into the initial. And you'll see an EM with like a minimalist like explosion coming off of the two letters.
That's badass. And as I see that, I think I'll probably put the second one on. You know, obviously with your blessing, I kind of look to you as I'm reaching for the second one for approval. Um, but as I take it, I'll put that one on too. Is there anything on that one?
On
Any
that one,
engravings or anything?
it would be the same engravings in reverse order. As you see that one and notice that the initials are reversed, I'll say, you know, we just couldn't decide who should be, you know, first
On
fiddle. I
top,
mean, it
yeah.
was my idea, but obviously she was the blacksmith, and this was the only way I could get her to shut up. So
It's perfect. And I'll like slam them together and form that shield real quick. Um, does that look any different than what it was before?
Well, I'm sorry, can you rephrase that?
Well, we're talking about how it has like
like
a sort
slamming
of a
them.
shieldy exterior, and then it has like the shield spikes, right? So like I have two of these now. I think you were saying that there's each one's like half of the shield.
Yeah, so they'd be like a half on each, so that when you like put your arms together, it would create the full circle.
Okay.
But
All right.
is there anything visually like magic wise that changes when he does that?
I would say that there's like a glow between the two as they like kind of like magnetize themselves together
Almost like in
in a
the
magical
little
way.
cracks, the
Yeah,
way that the shield went down.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's sick. All right, I just kind of like flex on that for a little bit and just kind of toy with it, like, oh shit. And just kind of I'm while everybody else is sort of figuring things out, I'm like fucking around a little bit, maybe stabbing things here and there. I'm like, oh, and then I'd imagine the oh, actually no, I was thinking we're in the tavern for a second. We're not, we're at home. Yeah, so I'm just like fucking around with stuff, you know, I'm like stabbing random things here and there.
Mhm.
Maybe like overdo it at certain points where I'm like, oh shit, maybe that caused a little more damage than I thought it would.
Fucking up our new digs.
Yeah, got to test it out.
And so then I'll you know, leave Vox's own devices and kind of move that box and place it in front of him, and get up on the table, grab a second box in the stack. And this is more of like a more of a like very fine like cardboard box that you'd see it like at a clothier shop.
Mhm.
And I'll walk right in front of them, and I'll set it down, open the lid. And this one probably about the same length as the box that I gave Vox, a little wider, not as high, and oh yeah, not as deep. And I'll open it, and then you just see this like um beautiful, like deep blue cloth that seems to be like a mixture of cotton and wool, like the slight elasticity of cotton, but like thick and durable looking like wool. And I'll pick it up from what would be the shoulders to show that his amulet of protection is now the centerpiece built into the cloak and is now like an unremovable brooch.
Yeah, like it holds it together.
Yeah. So like that's where the clasp would be like the when it's clasped, it would sit right above, like right below his like clavicle, but that the clasp would be like hidden beneath it, so that when it's clasped together, it looks like one seamless piece. And I'll lift it up and say, "Here, try it on."
And Tybalt will use Mage Hand to pick it up and throw it around his back, almost like Doctor Strange. Just like
How
grabs it
classy
and
is
throws it,
that?
and fastens it with the Mage Hand, like the clasp, so that it locks in, and Tybalt just feels it around and says, "Ebreth, you've really outdone yourself this time. Thank you. I just need to make sure that everything's in order." And Tybalt will sit down and close his eyes, extend his hand to the clasp, and you see a bead of light sort of open to maybe about the size of a quarter, and the glow of it will shine on Tybalt's face as he casts Commune.
Mhm.
And so he will reach out to a deity, to whoever's listening, and say, hope you don't mind that we made a few modifications to what you gave me.
And almost as if it's emanating from the amulet itself, you feel like a resonance that kind of aligns itself with your like soul, and you hear the collective voices of Lathander and oh man, I'm drawing a blank. What is the one that Blast had?
Is that
The
Timora?
Timora is the one of luck, I think,
Savris?
and Savris. You hear the collective voices of Timora, Savris, and Lathander as they all speak in unison, and they say, almost like when the Avatar speaks, and he's like enters Avatar mode, and you hear all the voices.
Yeah.
Um, I'll even say that like your eyes kind of glow, and you hear inside your brain that nobody else can hear, the collective voices of the three gods as they say, Tybalt, our faith is in you. Continue to be the light in the world. It's getting very dark. Maintain your faith. Be steadfast and hold on to hope. As the glow dissipates and your eyes kind of go back to normal, and you feel yourself kind of being inserted into the reality of sitting at the table with your friends, hearing the crackling of the fire, Seeing Vox just playing with his new like armband toys, and just being present again.
And Tybalt will just nod to Ebrath and say, everything is in order. Everything is as it should be. We're
Good,
on the right track.
I'm glad it worked. That one, it was much less blacksmith work, so Broadsword really didn't do a whole lot with that, except lend me her magical implements. That was it was a lot of trips to the clothier, and it's not my favorite, but I could do it again. I think a little quicker next time if we ever needed to.
Let's hope we won't, but I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, now that I know how to do it and I've taught Braltora, I think it might be a very useful tool for us moving forward.
I think so too. And Tybalt looks at his staff and says, maybe we'll follow it up with a more difficult request, but right up your alley.
Oh yeah, of course. Speaking of, and also, is my video off?
Yeah, it's like glitched or something. It's showing
Yeah.
you have your camera on, but it's all like dark. It's black.
Hold on. I don't know what happened.
Same.
Same. Okay, hold on. I might have to jump off real quick and get back on.
This is the. I don't want to have you go through it without Andre, but I think this is really the first time we kind of get a sense of like the manner we have.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I will ask you about that once he's back. I mean, we've been here for 2 or 3 weeks, so I figure we've gotten a pretty good idea of what's in here.
Yeah.
There's Edgar.
Dang, still?
Yeah, I can't see you, bro.
You
What
tried
the fuck?
unplugging?
I'm plugging my camera now. Here, I'll
Yeah,
do it.
do that. And replug it in.
Okay. Just plugged it back in. Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
Okay. So I'll just go, oh, speaking of that, and I'll run back to the third. Let me go back to sharing my screen. I'll run back to the third box, and it'll be the biggest, which is why I was at the bottom. It's a little over 2 feet long, 2 feet deep, or 2 feet wide, foot deep, and I'll open up this box. It's not as nice as the one that I put Vox's weapons in because it's for myself, so I didn't really see the need for it to be as fancy. And I pull out my new and improved adamantine half plate.
Oh shit.
I look at it and I go, oh, this won't do because I'm all fucked up from the blacksmith, right? I'll put it back down real quick and then I'll put my hands out, shift really quickly to my Metal Mario state, shift back to my glamour, fucking fully clean. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Pick it up and it looks much the same. So it's that it's golden color with a couple of purple accents, royal purple accents, some gray, like piping in there. But as I'm donning my armor, you'll notice that the main difference is right in the middle, center chest plate. there is that stylized explosion that Vox you would recognize from my initials on your weapon.
Yeah.
So think of it like it looks like a cooler, more stylized version of what the inspiration icon looks like.
Okay.
In your
Yeah, like
D&D.
explosion. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So
Is it like controlled or is it chaotic kind of?
it's precise.
Okay.
It's
Like it's a
calculated.
perfect pattern. Everything's like
Perfect,
symmetrical.
perfect symmetrical pattern, but
Yeah.
I would say like the middle isn't filled in. There's just the outline of where that sun would be, and then
Okay.
just the marks going away from it denoting force, right? And then
Yeah.
a flat bottom that would end at the bottom of the chest plate as it goes into like the rest of the torso.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
And um as I completely don it, I spend a few moments closing my eyes, reattuning to my armor, and I'll feel like kind of like a jolt, like kind of be like a shiver, like getting the shiver, like woof.
Yeah.
Um, and I will throw up my shield, which I'd only ever done holding my staff before. So you'll see whereas like my armor is it's not true gold, right? It's more of like a burnished gold color, like the color that Blast was, right? He wasn't a bright, shining, gleaming gold of color, but a little more matte.
Yeah.
That's what the armor is made out of. The same thing he's made out of.
Like a dirty gold.
Yeah, yeah, like a kind of like it looks like a worn gold, but it's just that's what adamantine looks like. You'd see that it kind of suffuses with a dull glow, and there'll be a what looks like a very thin force field would erupt, starting from my chest outward and envelop my whole body for a few seconds,
Hmm.
and then I call it back in. I go, whew, man, that feels a lot better.
That's pretty cool, that breath. Cool shit.
Thanks. That was almost as hard as yours. And I'll look down at Palpius and say, hey buddy, I know I don't have anything for you this time, but if you find anything you need work on, I got you next.
You better, small friend.
I'll just kind of laugh and be like, I mean, with this thing on, man, I'm not even scared of you. And I'll look over and um oh shit, I took it out. Oh, here it is. I'll look over and Palpius isn't wearing armor, right?
I don't know. Is Pappy wearing armor?
No.
Because he's a barbarian.
Yeah, no armor.
I'll look over and hold my hand out towards him and cast mage armor on him. So you'll be suffused into like a similar energy that you saw on me, except you'll look down and it's like just like a more glowing version of your own like dark purple skin tone. And it just exists a half inch above the surface of your skin.
I'll run
Fuck
up
does
and
this do?
not attacking you, but like pretending I'm going to. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So that ends up being like, oh my bad. I can't just raise my hand. I would walk over to him while he's sitting and reach out and touch his shoulder because it has to be touch. So yeah, that's way easier to do now. And I just realized I don't know if it's much help for you, but it might help in battle.
I said we go try this out.
Cause all I need to do is make sure that the target is not wearing armor.
Hmm.
And it becomes his target space AC becomes 13 plus his dexterity modifier.
Hmm.
So what's his AC now?
I don't know.
What's your AC, Sal?
Shit.
It's
17?
right
Armor
there.
class.
Oh,
17?
okay. Oh, that might be better.
Well, what's your dex modifier? It may not be.
All right, fucking finally. God damn. Sorry, I've been trying to make the stupid armband thing for Dave, and I finally figured it out. Cool,
Oh, yeah.
Dave. Check your equipment and your actions as you have some new stuff.
Would that
Okay,
be
I'm
under
gonna
my saving
refresh.
throws, Andre?
So on the very top where it shows all of your main stats,
Yeah.
what is the number that's in the box under dexterity?
+1, and then in the little circle it says 13.
Okay, so no, it won't actually help you because your built-in AC is already higher than that.
Probably I know shit.
So I mean, it's cool, but it won't unfortunately it won't help you.
Damn, that's pretty sick, Ronnie. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Custom item, guys.
Yo, share a screenshot.
Yeah, let me capture it. Hold on. That's sick. Okay. While I am doing that, can you please tell us a little bit more about this manor that we just got?
Yeah. So you guys
It's in the
are
I'm putting it in the notes channel.
yeah. You guys have the manor that is on the north side of Leylon. That has been gifted to you by the Kingdom of Neverwinter for your efforts in making Leylon.
Great again?
No, you know what? I'm gonna delete this
Okay.
fucking item. I'm gonna delete this fucking item.
Oh, come on.
Unattuned.
That's an Edgar line.
Unattuned.
Delete Edgar's item. That's his thing.
um,
Now
yeah.
I got Fandolin, you got Leylon.
That's true.
Yeah, so this has been gifted to you by the Kingdom of Neverwinter. You'll see that it's staffed with several beds, several like large kitchen. There's like a study area, and I mean, nothing's hidden, so you can kind of see everything here. There's like a storage room in the front, with a bath in the front as well.
Fucking
up in-
nice spot.
yeah, it's a nice little spot.
Is this all one level?
Yeah, it's all one level.
So
Okay.
there's 5 rooms.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. We got a core.
Yeah, 5
We-
plus a living room, and
Yeah,
then
we
what
got a
is
core
this like
3
a?
and then people coming in and out.
Hmm.
Is this like a foyer right here? This one,
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Can I call dibs on
Looks like
on a room?
supply room right here. Bath,
Yeah.
like a shower,
Yeah, like a
bath
bath.
area.
Yeah.
Communal bath.
Legit.
I'm calling this room
Is
right here. This one's
there?
mine.
Is this another building or is this part of it?
That's just some other building.
Okay. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, this is tight.
It has all the basics. I mean, it's plenty.
Well, it looks like too, like not only do we have that main meeting room we're in right now, but we have that like the
Yeah.
kitchen back there.
And there's a nice little like dining area here.
Nice little hearth, yeah. Both ends. That's fucking sick, man. Yeah, I'm calling this one right here.
I was gonna say, I feel like this one down here is kind of more Evereth. It's got like the little
The workshop.
Fine,
workshop
fine.
and
I was
shit.
picking the one I like the best, but yeah,
But
that's
it's got the
probably.
biggest. But it's got the biggest bed. That feels
That's
the
true. I
smallest.
mean, I was trying to look for one that had a really small bed. They're all the same size, but that one.
Mhm. I would say
Sorry,
this one.
That should be
me
like,
and you, Airbrush, to go in there.
Yeah,
this should be fucking Palpius's one.
his big ass.
Big ol' ass. He has to fucking, he has to sleep long ways.
You don't
Yeah,
want to join me?
I'm fucking huge too. So
Nah, bro, I don't fucking sleep.
Why do you need a bed?
That's cool.
Cause I want one.
Jesus Christ, this guy.
Cool.
I slaved for 3 weeks on magical items for my friends.
You don't need
Cool.
a bed to do that.
Yeah, dude, what if I wanted to lay down and read a book?
So as you guys are kind of reveling in your newfound magic items, and I'll
I'm
continue.
jumping around on the bed.
Yeah, just stab at shit.
No, and like even like you know, sometimes I don't know if you guys do this. Like when you go to a hotel, sometimes you're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna jump on the bed because I feel like it.
Dave, I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not do that. Mostly because my fat ass is worried about breaking shit.
Oh well. All right. Yeah, no, sorry to derail that.
Yeah, and then just as a reminder, Vox, for yours, please continue to like equip it and unequip it when you're not using it, because it does
Okay.
affect your armor class.
Okay.
Yeah, man, pretty sweet. You get a
But
plus 2.
wait. So like, if I'm reading this correctly, like if I'm in mid combat and I switch this, I kind of can't switch back because it's not attuned, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just for the sake of being able to switch, I'm not going to force you to like go through the attunement requirements every single time.
Okay.
But
Well, yeah,
just
So
add,
once you tune it once, that should be it.
yeah, like I'm not going to be like nitpicky about that and be like,
Okay,
well,
cool.
actually, in combat,
No, I
it
just
can't
want to make
fucking-"
sure because
you
now
know?
Yeah,
I know
so-
what to expect, you know?
Yeah, I would, like once you attune it, it's attuned even if you're not wearing it.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I mean,
Cool,
you
yeah.
technically with the effects he gave you.
Yeah, no,
it-
I was reading this last sentence in the first paragraph, but I misread it.
Yeah.
It
Also,
just
I'm gonna
says
take.
like
I'm
to
gonna.
attune it, I need to hold it there, which is fine.
Yeah,
I
you just have
wasn't
to
sure,
do it.
like
Yeah, until you're done.
I initially kind of read that as like it has to be there the whole time or
Oh,
else
got
it's
it.
not
Got it.
attuned. But yeah, that's not right.
Also, Ebrat's totally gonna take fucking credit for that and be like, "Oh, attune it really quickly, and let me show you something really cool." So yeah, you attune it, and I'll be like, "Now think about the blades retracting into the handle."
Yeah, and it's like the Wolverine claws. It's like
Yeah, except it's a fucking one single giant blade
yeah,
that goes
one
up your
giant
forearm.
blade.
Yeah. So basically, the
Um,
only thing you have to do is keep the fucking handles in your hand. So
mhm.
you could like stash them in your pocket or whatever.
Yeah, or I mean, it technically,
Yeah, if you have
I
it
guess it would.
strapped. Yeah, if you have it strapped,
Uh,
then it would just be you wouldn't even
yeah,
need the handle.
I was gonna say no, like it would definitely like probably puncture my coat, but
Right.
I'd say hopefully with my newfound insect abilities, it just kind of retracts and like my like I'm not gonna say regenerative ability, but like my scales just kind of immediately kind of cover it back up.
And in worst case scenario, I'm really good friends with the clothier in town, so I mean we could get you a different coat if you need it. I mean she was very upset with me at first with the order for Tybalt, but I mean with the gold we have, it was no big deal.
So I'd say unless we're doing any other like minor shit, I'll probably bring the conversation to what's our next move here. Clearly, I want to go to sea, but we now have an opportunity to help the town further, and clearly they've showed us some recognition and some gratitude in that they helped Ebrath, and I think just generally it seems like we kind of elevated the town in totality. So we have the option to head out to sea. Maybe we should talk to the dock master again before we make a decision. But we do have the option to try to recoup the lumber mill.
Well, I mean, I
Edgar, you heard the whole
was
recap about the lumber mill, right? I don't know where he is.
What was the lumber mill?
so it's the
So
lumber where we found the effigy from way back in part 1.
way back,
Yeah.
I found a little
Remember they're
cult totem,
yeah,
and there was a lumber mill there where I got that from. And
where Tribor's guys
again, I
were.
didn't Yeah, I didn't know who exactly said it. I think it might have even been the dockmaster that was saying that like there's a big drain on the lumber supply and like it's really affecting them right now. So whoever it was mentioned that like if we could help get that up and running again, it would be a big help to the town. So we sort of have that like side questy type of thing now if we want to go that route. But I'd say maybe let's talk to the dockmaster first and see what kind of options we have and how long things will take, and take it from there.
Yeah, just because this may have given her sufficient time to find a captain for us. We may have a captain waiting.
Yeah,
It
well,
will,
that's what she said. She said it'd be about
yeah,
2-3 weeks to find somebody to help, like to
take us to
find
where we need
a
to be.
navigator, is what she called it.
And if we were to go now to handle the lumber mill situation, that's we're gone probably a month. We don't know how long it'll take us. Conservatively, let's say a month, we'll be out.
Hmm. Right.
When we've already been spinning our wheels in town for weeks, and our hottest lead is going colder by the day. I agree with you, Vox. I think we need to speak to the dockmaster. If she has someone waiting for us, I say our first course of action is chasing that lead. If
I
not,
agree.
if it's gonna be an extended amount of time, then sure, let's keep helping the town.
The lumber is an inconvenience where finding this mystical entity, I think, is more of a priority. The attacks are increasing. The natural elements seem to be reacting more so lately. I think time is of the essence. But if all are in favor, let's head over to Valdi,
Yeah.
who is the dock master or
One thing
dock
we should
mistress. I don't know. Dock mistress, is that a thing?
Yeah, the
one
dock
thing we should
master.
check on. One thing we should check on before we head down there, I think. Tybalt, um, you headed up to the Wizard Tower when we first arrived in Lylon, right?
Look at this dog.
That's what.
Living her
She
best life.
dreaming that she's
Living her
running.
best life.
Yeah, she's doing the little twitches.
That's great. I would have, right. So I would have had the conversation with
If you want, I was gonna say before we move on, I did want to give you guys the opportunity to like have that role play interaction if you guys wanted to.
Yeah, I
With
think we
who? Sorry,
should.
who are we talking about?
The
Um,
wizard guy.
yeah,
Oh, with Galileo. That's right. I forgot
Yeah,
to note that in our notes.
because Galileo was supposed to be constructing a wizarding circle for us, a teleportation circle.
Right.
mhm.
Wasn't originally, didn't we go drop off food, or weren't we going to drop off food or something?
We
Yeah,
did.
that's where we were heading. We're gonna go talk to him. We also had food with us, so that was
That's
like
right.
that's where we ended
Yeah. I
last week.
remember
Oh,
Tybalt
that's
made
right.
it a
That's right.
point of like, give me some food to go because I'm gonna go drop it off to him.
Right.
Yeah,
So
because
you
apparently
would
he's
have
needing.
done that within those 3 weeks, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you guys see it
So
on the map?
I
it's
see it in my browser. Oh, there it
oh,
is.
There
okay.
it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good timing. I almost saw that, but
I haven't been able to finish setting it up, but
Okay.
okay, cool. Let me drop this guy right in here. Ba-ba-ba. What do you guys remember about him?
He's
he
super
was the one
eccentric.
in charge of the magic tower. He was summoning creatures from other dimensions. I don't know what the proper term is, but he was calling in weird things that shouldn't belong here.
Mhm.
He was very eccentric, right? He was like very dedicated to his
Yeah.
research, wasn't very sociable. What else? He had a lot of research that I think we read through at least some of it, right? When we were in the tower, the bookcase was fallen, and I think we read through some of that. Let me see what else I see on him, because I'm sure I have notes on him. Yep, there's 5 instances. He was possessed at the beginning.
Yes.
Um, He was like our contact in case we needed to find out lore about something. What else? He had Talavar's journal that was at least 100 years old,
And Talavar
and
was who had
Talavar was a
possessed him.
correct. So Talavar was the one that was like inhabiting him, and there was a lot of mention of Soapwort, the Fae or Fairy. The what was he? He was like a dragon fairy thing.
Here's a fake creature.
Fae, that's what I thought. So yeah, he had definitely a connection to Soapwort. We found Soapwort's body, I think. So we
Mhm.
found a little dragon or a little Fae skeleton. But we did manage to get Talavar out of him. I mean, I have some notes on Soapwort if you want them. They don't seem relevant anymore. And I have one more. Yeah, just the current state. Ask about Galileo and figure out what he's doing. So that's all we have, at least in my notes.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys make your way over to the Wizard's Tower, you see that it has been the construction that was being done on it previously has now been completed. You see this like 4 or 5 foot story tower that is kind of like up on the hill in the center of town, and it kind of reaches out over the peaks of the like walls and battlements of the town on the outside walls, and you can kind of see it gleaming in the sunshine as it is just like draws all of your attention to like the tower. Everything kind of like points inwards to the tower, and it's hard to not notice it as you go about your day in Leylon. The closer you get to the tower itself, you see that there is a lot more of the um Leylon like soldiers that are kind of like helping out and are um keeping patrol and just kind of guarding the town, making their like nightly rounds, making their rounds around the city, just keeping watch. This is kind of like the police force of the town, but also the official military might of Leylon. Anytime that there would need to be like if the city was under attack, they would rush out to join the fray. If they had to make any sort of like missions into the like wilds in the area, they might send like a small like squadron of 12 soldiers or so, or whatever it might be. You see that this is that you see a lot more of these soldiers, one being Private Jessup, and as you guys walk around, you notice that quite a few of them seem pretty bruised up. They've got some black eyes, so maybe a busted lip here and there. You see one or two with like a splint on their fingers. And as you guys approach, the ones that are pretty beat up, they when they see Palpius, they kind of like their eyes shift down and kind of like grumble to themselves a little bit as they kind of like try their best not to make eye contact as they recall many beatings, at Palpius's hand in the tavern, when they get too drunk at night. And some people I'm sure have with liquid courage thought that maybe they could take on the half orc, but it looks like there's quite a bit that's pretty beat up.
I just think of Debo.
Kind of, yeah, kind of like that. Absolutely.
From Friday.
Yeah.
They fucked around and found out.
Yeah. But other than them kind of shying away, they're cool with us, right? Like they don't apprehend us or anything.
Yeah, like they're like, you guys haven't done anything illegal. In fact, most of them know that like their ass whoopings were well deserved.
Okay.
Palpius isn't an evil guy, but he's not afraid to whoop some ass if somebody wants to challenge him. You know. Do you guys? I mean, how do you guys uh interact with them at all, or?
I would uh soldiers. What can you tell me about the people on the cruises that come through? Have you had any trouble? Is there anything noteworthy?
One of them speaks up and he says, "No, those," and you can tell that as he's talking to you, he's kind of doing his best to just pretend that Palpius isn't there, and you can see that there's still a little bit of blood that's kind of like dripping through the crack in his busted lip as it's swollen up, and he says, there hasn't really been much to say about those people. They come to town from time to time, but mostly just for supplies, just staff of the barges, it seems. No complaints thus far."
Are these people of means or are they workers? I know you mentioned they're mostly workers, but have you seen anybody of
They mostly seem like workers. It looks like, as they come in and out, they're just, kind of coming in with a mission and um not really trying to spend much time in town. They're coming in, getting what they need and getting out. There hasn't really been any issues with any civilians, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Carry on. I don't think I have any other questions for them.
Edgar, just so you know, you are now equipped with the Faith of the Gods +2. It is basically your amulet of the devout and your cloak of protection in one item. It is an attunement, but because you're dropping your attunement on the amulet of the devout, it kind of fills that role.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did he drop it in?
It's equipped currently.
What? I'll reload. Cool.
Yeah, just reload.
Wait, real quick, Ronnie. So my new item gives me AC, right?
Because it's shield as well as a weapon.
While you have it
Okay.
equipped, it's +2.
Yeah, I asked because I think I was like at 18 AC and now I'm at 20.
Yeah, so it's like when you have your shield equipped.
I know, but even when I had my shield equipped, I was like at 18 or 19. I don't know if the level up made the difference. I just wanted to make sure I'm not like getting an unfair advantage here.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. It was 18 with your shield, right?
Right.
Because it was like 60 or 16 minus it.
I'll have
Yeah,
to
take a look at
edit
it.
that later. Yeah, I'll take it later.
Take a look at it.
And then Andre, did
'Cause
you need me to make something for you? I forget.
Yeah. I put
Okay.
I put it in the notes.
Adamantine half plate of defense. Okay, cool. I'll make that in a bit.
So if you need to look at it, I still have my staff in my inventory if you need to look at it.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
I think you might have applied the extra 2 bonus. That's only when I get ranged attacks. I think you might have applied it to the total. Anyway, check it out.
Maybe.
I think that's what it is because I'm like 99% sure I was at 18. And then of course leveling up might have given me an extra AC, but I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I think when I did it, I was looking at your AC of 18
Okay.
and thought that was your baseline. So I added the +2. So maybe I'll have to
Yeah,
adjust
so
a little bit.
I'm at 18. I'll run with that for now.
Okay. Hold on. What the okay, anyway. Yeah. All right, I'll make Andre's item. You guys, as you guys pass through the soldiers and everything, you can see that they are going kind of in and out of the tower. And you remember that this is kind of now their like barracks of sorts. However, Galileo is still the resident wizard, and this is still very much the wizard tower. So you make your way into the tower itself, and you find Galileo sitting at the end of the table, just finishing up a bowl of soup. And as the door creaks open, you see him kind of like shudder at the light a little bit as he says, "Oh, shut that door, shut that door." There's too much light coming in.
Galio, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I am exquisite, Tybalt. How have you been? It looks like you guys have all done pretty well for yourself since the last time we've seen you. Was a little bit out of my mind of sorts, but I seem to have collected all of my missing marbles.
Tell me more about that. What have you been working on?
Oh, well, as we have been renovating the Wizard Tower here, and these insufferable soldiers are making so much noise all the time. They have no respect for libraries. Like, how is a wizard supposed to get anything done with all this clanking and metal and leather? And it is driving me insane. I almost want to just be possessed at night so I get rid of them. But alas, we've taken care of that. In the meantime, I've been studying some of Talavar's work. It's very fascinating. He's lots of information on the planescape and temporal portals, magic items that exist in other realms. There's so much information. It's almost too much to absorb in one sitting. So I've just been poring over tome after tome, scroll after scroll, insignias, runes, magical arcane languages. It's enthralling, to say the least.
Galio, when's the last time you've eaten?
Oh, I actually just finished my bowl of soup. It was actually quite well. Thank you for bringing some food over. It's nice to get something other than this slop that these soldiers eat. So I appreciate that. You'll have to give the inn my regards. That is very, very good soup. Thank you.
We will. The inn isn't too far away, and you do need to rest from time to time. Take your mind off of the studies, and get outside, get some fresh air.
Oh, well, with the air, there's just so much like birds and shit, and they just sing and they chirp. And there's this one mockingbird who's just up at 3 a.m. Like, what? Go to bed.
Yeah, well, hopefully, you have some time to take a break, whether it be outside, whether it be elsewhere. You must not be consumed by these studies.
Yes, I agree, Tybalt. I agree. And, in my spare time, when I'm not poring over all these tomes and scrolls, I like to do a bit of light reading. I've been very much into gemstones recently, and very fascinating. The molecular makeup of a crystal is almost magical in its own nature. There's quite some powerful stones out there, many that can be imbued with magic, many that are powerful sources of magic. It's quite fascinating.
Mike, tell me, what's the most interesting gem you've come across in your reading?
Oh, well, and he kind of like looks around to see who's around, and he says, there are quite a few, some very powerful items, some that there is a particular pearl stone which grants its user additional resources for magical power. There is a special type of ruby that can grant bolstered magic properties. Stones that allow you to bind creatures into a demi-plane that exists in its own. Dragon shard, kyber crystals that are swell with the wild magic of Faerun itself. It's quite fascinating. I highly recommend you pick up a book at your local library. It's just
At your local library.
one can never read too much. I say it keeps the mind sharp.
Right, right. More. Tell me more about that crystal. Have you been able to identify what how much of a crystal you would need to imbue a certain type of magic?
Well, I mean, ruin stone or dragon shards have been well known amongst many artificers and wizards, and to have innate magical properties, and with the right manipulation, have been used to bolster magical items, magical constructs. Um, it really depends on the type of magic you're trying to imbue or bolster. Tybalt, tell me more. What are you asking?
And Tybalt just says, "Oh, just curiosity for now," and looks at Ebrath to see if Ebrath wants to release more information.
Ebrath will kind of just be watching this unfurl, not necessarily being the biggest fan of Galio, but also almost not being able to contain himself. Um, kind of like look over at Tybalt and like, well, old man, speaking of dragon shards, have you ever heard of someone being able to deconstruct a particular type of enchantment from a magical item and either rework said magical item or transfer the enchantment to an existing magical item?
Well, I have come across some encyclopedias and tomes with instructions on how these dragon shard kyber crystals can be manipulated. I imagine that if we put our heads together, we could figure something out.
Oh, no need. I've already figured it out.
Oh, well, I mean, I apologize. What was the point of your asking?
I was just wondering if, yourself being such a scholar, if you'd heard of anyone being capable of such a feat in recent memory.
Well, there has been mention. Off in a land far, far away. There is a known a known crafter who is renowned for his ability to spring life into inanimate objects. Not somebody that is well known, I suppose. He is a little bit underground, if you will. He's was a very powerful artificer, a young rock gnome by the name of Zeth the White. He sadly perished a few years ago. I had heard some rumblings about the Red Wizards and some to do about an attack, but I wasn't very familiar with him myself. I've just come across the name in readings.
No, of course, yeah. I didn't recognize you prior to coming to Leylon, so I didn't think you knew him. But yeah, that's actually how I came to this knowledge. Was I used his old notes.
Oh, you don't say. I would love to read over them. That is some fascinating um, material there. There's so much knowledge poured into those notes. I'd be curious to read them if you ever are willing to let an old man read through. I would be very much appreciative of that.
Can I do an insight check on him?
Sure.
I'm trying to surmise if I think that he would use the notes purely for scholarly advancement, or if I have an inkling that he would possibly use it um, in any sort of like negative manner.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna flash a genius myself because that was an 11, so that's a 16.
Sure. With a 16, you see that you gather that he is genuinely curious. He seems to have a general curiosity for knowledge itself, anything relating to the arcane, and um, like with arcane items, with arcane like spells. Um, you see almost like a glimmer in his eye as they kind of go wide with amazement at your revelation of having these notes. And you sense that there is a general curiosity behind them, but you also see that there is a bit of some like gears turning behind his gaze, where he's almost lost in the thought of like the possibilities, what he could do with
Application.
them, the application, the many ways he could kind of like alter the things he already knows. And it's almost as if it's like a compulsion of his to just try to absorb as much knowledge as he possibly can regarding the arcane.
So I'm gonna look towards Tybalt.
Hold on, actually, let me just be
Okay.
clear. You don't sense a like
Malicious intent.
malicious intent.
Okay.
You recognize that it is almost compulsory for him, but not necessarily like in a negative way. Like you just like he's a dog and you just held up a ball, and he's just like, what the fuck, like zoned in.
Vox, really quickly, can you toss me that sending stone? The sending stone, that's mental, right? It's not verbal, right?
I think that could be kind of like left up for role play.
Okay. So he's gonna toss it to me. I'm gonna hand it to Tybalt. And through the stones, I will send him a message and say, I don't mind sharing the notes with this old man, but no one is to tell him that Breltora has her own set. I want her to leave her alone, leave her to her work, and I want to be the one that dictates how and where he acquires this information.
I'm fine with that.
That's
You can't hear that.
Oh,
I'm sending it mentally through the sending stone
To who? To the Vox?
to Tybalt because I
Oh,
just
okay, sorry.
because since he's the one leading if you would please relay that to the rest of the group.
You want me to relay it?
Yeah, because you have message.
I have sending.
Oh yeah, same deal.
So I will.
If you would, or we can
wait,
tell them.
we need to keep track of the sending stones though. So I tossed it to Ebrath. So Ebrath and Tybalt have it right now.
Correct.
So I have the
Okay.
I have
I
the
deleted
master.
it out of my inventory just so we keep
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, so I have the master.
Okay.
I had given you the matching one because you had been our scout.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Give me
that's
like
fine.
5 minutes.
That's fine. I just
Okay.
want to make sure we're keeping track of it because I deleted it out of my thing. So somebody make
Okay.
sure you had the second one.
Yeah. Tybalt, if you'd be so kind, just if you could relate it to the rest of them.
It's to 2 more of us, right?
Yeah, just 2 more of us.
Who didn't?
I gotta take Cass out, so I'll be listening. I'm gonna take my phone with me, but
Want to just take a quick break?
Ronnie said take a quick
Um,
5, or he's
yeah,
gonna be
let's
back
take-
in 5. So just take a. We can take a break.
Yeah.
okay, I'll be back in a bit.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. Everybody taking a break?
Yeah, we're just gonna take a break because
Cool.
Dave took Cass out.
Yeah, I had to get a. I made myself coffee and I totally forgot. I meant to have it like at the start of the session. I got caught up. Yeah, so I put that item in your inventory. I already equipped it for you.
I got it. I see, like for whatever reason, when you equipped it, it's at armor class 19, and then I
Mhm.
toggled it, and now it's staying at armor class 18. So I don't know what.
Are you attuned to it? So when you untoggle it, you have to reattune.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. And I have. Yeah. Okay.
Does the hmm,
The ring of warmth doesn't show up on my like items that require attunement. That's kind of weird. I guess I need to wear it and then it'll show up, right? Yeah, there it goes. Okay.
I see you have a ring of evasion. You have a ring of warmth.
Yeah.
Oh,
got
because it's
it.
in your backpack.
Yeah. So I
Got it.
gotta like equip it and then it shows up.
Okay. Does it require attunement? That's kind of whack.
The ring of evasion.
No, the ring of warmth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some like uncommons that require attunement, and it's like, bro, it's not that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll probably just make some fucking rings for you.
Yeah, all good. I do like how they do items in Baldur's Gate
How do they do that?
because you pretty much have like slots like in Diablo where you have like a head, like a helm
That's kind
piece,
of what I was trying to figure out how to do too.
yeah, chest piece. Like you can have essentially on your items equipment like magical items on you, you know, like an
Mhm.
amulet, rings, boots, bracers, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to do something like that too because I like that as well.
Yeah,
Like I get having the attunement restrictions because like you don't want to have too many like overpowered items, but like
right.
there's no reason why you can't have like a boots of springing and like a couple rings, like it's not like I guess as long as they're within reason, like I don't see why you would need to attune every single ring.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if
Especially
it
the
was like a
uncommons.
rare or like yeah, like feels like a very rare, like a purple, then yeah, I would say that's attunement. But like on a green, fuck that.
Yeah. All right, get some water. I'll be back.
What are you doing in the desert, Edgar?
Getting an oil change tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah, because I get them for free since I bought my car at over at the I-10 Auto Mall
Nice.
Oh, nice. How many do you get for free?
for life.
For life?
Nice. Through Honda?
No, through just that I-10.
That dealer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What
That's
is
cool.
it called? Um,
Unicars?
Unicars Honda. Yeah.
That's fucking smart.
Yeah.
That's
they
so
they
smart.
always they always do get you with like, oh, it needs
The upsells.
this scheduled service. Yeah.
That's what they
Which
do.
I-
I mean, that's the smart thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's fine. I need to get it done anyways.
Hmm.
So I just end up
Especially with the
getting.
with the amount you drive, like most dealers, like there's a stigma to dealers that like they're always trying to fucking just get you.
Yeah,
But I mean, for the most part, they're just recommending scheduled services or preventative maintenance, and it's like a lot of that stuff should be done anyway, you know?
yeah.
Or
Plus,
like,
whenever I do end up selling the car, everything's going to be on the Carfax or on like,
yeah,
they can confirm with the dealership that I bought the car at that I've
yeah.
done all the scheduled services
Yeah, that's cool.
and be able to get
Which will raise your
the
like resale value.
the resale
Definitely,
value right
dude.
now is yeah. I mean,
Resale value is
they
already high though.
they've been trying to buy my car like
Mhm.
for the past year and a half.
Oh,
They want to
really?
give me they want to give
They
me
want a used car.
like 22K for it.
Nice. Damn, dude, that's a lot
Yeah.
for a trade-in. That's huge.
Yeah.
Dude, it's nuts. Like the trading value right now is fucking crazy. Like,
Is there still like a big shortage?
it's not as bad as it was like 2 years ago,
Mhm.
but there is a shortage of used cars because
Yeah.
most people are holding on to them
hmm
because everything has gone up in price. So like they're trying to give you the most money possible for your trade-in, even through a dealer, which like conventionally dealers are going to give you 20 to 30% less than a private seller could. Most dealers are doing everything they can to get as close to that as possible, if not matching it.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
pretty
I
much like
mean,
they're saying like 110% KBB is like the
Mhm.
official offer.
Most dealers, since the shortage, doesn't even use KBB as a reliable source any longer because it's so skewed below what consumers have come to expect because of the market.
Too.
So KBB is a good starting point, but yeah, like 100% is like 110 is what I would like start with. If you were going to be trading, I would probably ask for more. If you were just
Yeah.
selling it to them, then 110 is probably the best you're going to get. Because at least with the trade-in, they know they're going to try and get something back by the sale of the new car. So they might be more willing to put in a little bit more, you know?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
You guys ready to hop back in?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I think we're missing Sal.
Wow.
Is he back or is he?
Oh no,
there
he's there. I just can't,
Name-
dude. So yeah, his name
name's
covers his
covering
head. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh,
Right.
so basically the last thing was I asked Sybil to use sending to tell the other two to relay what I told him, being that I don't want Galio to know that Breltora has access to the
Mhm. Yeah.
notes.
Yeah. I remember.
I mean, she doesn't have all the access to the notes, but she has enough of, in development of the new technology that we're talking about, that not only do I not want him to pester her, but I just don't want him to know that he can try and see them whenever I'm not around. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
to know.
So Tybalt, did you relay that?
Yeah, I've relayed it, and since I'm using sending, I'm gonna be spending 2 third level spell slots to do it.
Okay. So I'll walk up to Galio, get on the chair, pull out my notebook and show him only like the newest portion of the notes pertaining to the development of that technology. I'm not showing him the rest of the notebook.
Um, are you like letting him borrow this?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, he'll kind of I just wanted to clarify that because I'll say that he will kind of flip through it a bit, and you'll see his eyes are kind of just like scanning through, almost like speed reading. But flipping pages like several at a time. So not necessarily like trying to follow any of the particular like instructions or narratives, just kind of flipping through and kind of browsing through it. Give me a perception check.
That is a 16. If that fails, I will use a flash of genius.
With a 16, I'll say, yeah, sure. Because it's something that you know so like intimately inside and out, like I'll say that you'll but have a pretty good DC on this. 16 would be more than enough. I would say that you notice that when he tends to fall on a page that has to do with the binding of souls into crystals and inanimate objects, you'll see that he kind of stays a little bit longer on that page. But we'll continue to flip through, and then anytime there's a mention of the binding of souls and things like that, you'll notice that he hesitates for a second before he flips through. But kind of says, oh, this is fascinating. I would love to go through this at length sometime. Would I be able to borrow this?
Well, being that it is my personal notebook.
Oh, well, let me just say, I mean, if you ever need anything, I have a lab here. You can use my resources if you need. This is so fascinating. I would love to assist you with any sort of experimentation you might need to do. This is very fascinating.
Galio, that actually, obviously, currently I think we are pressed for time. I don't think I necessarily have the time.
Oh, of course. I've
But-
got so much reading to do right now. I mean, you should see
But-
my stack. I just
But I do have. Maybe we can strike an agreement.
I feel very agreeable. What are your terms?
First, how are you doing with that teleportation circle that my friend Tybalt had requested?
He will say, yes, thank you for that. I thought that's why you guys were here. Yes, the teleportation circle has been finalized. It's completed. I have something for you. And he says,
What do you have?
he pulls out a gemstone. And
Fuck yeah.
it's a fairly decent sized one, like one that would fit like in the palm, like I would say like baseball sized.
So too big for me to hold comfortably, but for a normal sized person.
For like a normal sized person, it's like a baseball size crystal, and it's very geometric in its shape, and it has a bit of a translucence to it. And he says, this here is something that I've been meaning to complete myself, but you guys gave me the push I needed to further this research, and I'm happy to say that. Luckily, I've been doing some of my own research in regards to teleportation and portals to alternative planes.
Do you recall?
This helped me narrow in on the core essences of those types of magic, and I've been able to put them together in a item that will allow you to teleport back to a particular waypoint that you can set.
So we could use this to use your tower and its circle that you've been working on as our waypoint.
That is correct.
So could we potentially use it at other locations we've been, or do we need to construct other circles?
Well, I fear it only has the capacity for one anchor point. This is
Okay.
very, very complicated that you have to create a rift in the fabric of space and time and then join two dimensions together. And boy, do they like to implode if things don't go right. And it's been a bit of a perilous journey, but I'm happy to say that I have succeeded in creating a temporal portal that will allow you to retrace your steps back to the circle here in the tower from any points in favor.
Perfect. I'll take the gemstone and toss it back to Tybalt. Galileo, I'm sure my colleagues may have other questions and maybe requests from you. But I seem to see your eyes dally over certain passages within my journal. And that's just of what I've shown you.
Well, yes, like I said, I'm very fascinated with the knowledge that can be found in this journal.
Of course, understandable. My father was a great man.
It says it's just, some of these things here align with the research that I've been doing. So it just happened to catch my eye, and I've been so fixated on these thoughts and trying to work these sort of things out. Having the resource of a genius like Zeth the White's notes I feel would put me one step closer to bringing this all together and having a much more stable control on this sort of magic.
And how would you feel about not only having access to his notes, but having the assistance of someone who helped Zeth write these notes?
He says, well, like I said, my good boy, anytime you need to have a workspace or any knowledge you seek, my resources are at your disposal. I am here to assist you and learn.
I can't say that I'm comfortable leaving you a copy of my notes. However, I might be persuaded to feel otherwise.
Oh, well, like I said, yeah, I understand that you have your priorities and as I do mine. However, I do welcome the idea of working together and pulling our shared resources together to understand this step forward in magic. This is almost as if a new technology is being invented. It's a new utilization of magics that previously have existed separately, but now together.
Of course, that was my father's thoughts exactly, and luckily, I think I've been able to further them in a way that's actually practical. In fact, I know it's practical because I've just adorned
And
myself
he
and
stops you there and he kind of reaches out and grabs your forearm almost in excitement. And he says, tell me, boy, what do you know of this ruin stone?
what do I know of the runestone?
Um, hmm. Fuck, I didn't think about that. Let me see here. Let me read up on this a little bit here. Give me a history check.
Perfect. which is now a +9. So that is a 23.
+9?
It's now a +9, yeah.
What the fuck?
Which also means all of my spell DCs are 19s now. I think Tybalt's are too.
That sucks.
That also
Um,
means my Firebolt is now a, just so you know, in case you hadn't had a chance to look through our shit. My Firebolt now is now a +11. My cannon is now a +9.
Okay, cool. Um, cool. So you got a what on your history check?
23 with no buffs.
Okie dokie. Why don't you give me a buff just to see?
Okay. Then it's at 28.
Okay, cool. With the 28, that's huge. Yeah. With the 28, you recall that the Ruined Stone is a mythological artifact that's referred to or revered almost as something that would be similar to
Like a
like a
philosopher's
holy
stone.
like a holy art, yeah, like a philosopher's stone or like a super holy artifact of sorts. You'll having having the knowledge of Zethawite, you'll recall that the ruined stone is said to be a magical artifact. It is like an obsidian gemstone,
Okay.
and it is used to alter the reality of like time and space as it allows like the wielder to do this.
Got it. And with that
And
roll,
hold on, sorry. Let me finish. Additionally, you'll know that it is said to be able to contain the soul of a uh, being within it and able to outright like erase people.
erase people.
Mhm. Yeah,
Wow,
like
okay.
fucking Thanos snap.
Okay.
You'll also know that the Ruin Stone was the initial inspiration for Zeth the White to look into being able to attach souls into magical items.
Hmm. What with that roll, what I
Many of like much a lot of his research would have been about being able to imbue powerful magical items with life, starting with uh, I'd imagine small like automatons that are like toy size, that he just kind of like fiddled with,
or let's say a steel defender.
and then eventually upgrading to like a still defender, and just constantly researching like how to bring things to life that are like inanimate objects, and just having this idea of creating what would have eventually become
Blast and Ascendus.
Blasted Ascendus, but a lot of that was because of his recollection of this tale of the ruined stone, and just the ability to like withhold souls, and not so much the malicious side of it, like he wasn't like,
Right.
oh my god, this evil thing, but just the ability to like hold the soul,
The
and
manipulation of it.
the manipulation of, yeah, like that. It was kind of opened his eyes to what magic could be, and so he um explored ways to um craft, an actual soul, not an artificial soul, but like a real soul, using dragonstone, dragon shard kyber crystals, being, all of that research all kind of stems from the ruined stone. So to have somebody inquire about it is
Raising some flags.
Yeah, like that's not something people know about really. It's
Right.
this existed hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Like I said, is almost spoken about as like a sort of mythological
Right.
artifact. Like some people might not even believe it's real, or
Right. It's whispered about.
yeah, people would be like, "Oh, bro, come on, ghosts aren't real, like fucking ruin stones," But like every legend has some truth behind it, Kind of.
So this is something that Zeth did not have possession of,
No, but just had
which is why it took him multiple tries to
yes,
perfect.
yes.
Okay.
He had just had done research about it, and
Would I have an idea of its location?
you will know that the ruined stone is said to have been lost to the void of time and space itself.
Okay.
That's kind of part of its like mythological like appeal. It's like this otherworldly breaks the rules of like reality and physics and just exists in its own vacuum.
And it's lost to the ether.
And it's lost to the ether. Yeah.
Okay. At Galio's words, knowing that the portion of the journal that I hold, that I'm letting him peruse, made no physical mention of the runes. Is it ruin stone or rune stone?
Ruin stone.
Ruin.
Ruinstone.
Made no actual mention of the ruin stone, but I know from the rest of the journal and having worked with Zeth the White for nigh on 200 years that the very beginnings of that journal not only make mention of it, but reference its hypothetical powers and dictated his research from here on out and shaped the way he went about his research and practical application when it came to the creation of Ascendus and then later Blast. I will, if possible, become even more wary of Galio.
Mhm.
And
You're like, I didn't like him. No, I really don't like him.
yeah, I already didn't trust him. Now I look to him and say, I know much of this rune stone. Why do you seek it, Galio?
He says, "Oh, wow, that's a blessing to hear. Um, it's very fascinating. Talavar himself, in going through his research, has been researching how to create portals to alternate planes of existence. This is something that he was very fixated on, almost obsessed. Um, in one of the passages, there was the word runestone etched into the side of a page almost as an afterthought, being scribbled down to not be forgotten. It's the only time that this is mentioned, but that has caused me to go down this rabbit hole of research about temporal portals, teleportation. I mean, that's kind of how I even came to complete your project, just having discovered this mythological item that is said to exist. And the more I study, the more I research, the more I'm starting to believe that it might be real. And the advancements we can make in magic could be astounding.
These advancements, Galio, these leaps and bounds you wish to make within magic, what exactly are you aiming to accomplish? Let's say you found the ruin stone. What are you using this for?
And he says, think about it, boy. This is the
And I'll cut him off.
possibility.
And I'll cut him off and say, let's drop the boy. I'm far older than you are.
And he says, that is non-relevant, irrelevant to the conversation. This is much more than you or I. This is about the existence of our world itself. We are but one drop in the ocean of planes of existences that just exist, and that outside of our own dimension, and the possibilities of bringing those together and creating new planescapes. This is huge.
Galio, all I'm hearing are semantics from you. I hear very flowery words, probably used to distract people less knowledgeable than I. So you can gain traction and in a spot like Leylon and gain what you've gained and taking control of this tower. Just that's not what I'm asking. What are you looking for in attaining this ruin stone? What are you trying to accomplish? Without that answer, I can't come into any sort of agreement to let you see these notes or even the plethora of previous notes that I have at my hand.
He says, you take me for someone who is willing to conduct misdoings with magic just for my own personal gains and desires.
That's not what I said.
That goes against everything I stand for as a philosopher, as a scholar, as a researcher, as a creator. My ambition is the advancement of our knowledge and wielding of magic.
Okay. Obviously you don't want to tell me. That's fine. Thank you very much for your help with transportation circle. We will do our best to keep your town safe, keep your wizarding tower safe, but you're not being honest with me, and that's okay. I get it. That's your own research, and I get it. I'm right there with you. So
Don't let your past blind you.
I'm gonna close my book, scamper down, and say, I mean, if you're not being honest with what you're trying to use it for, all this, like I said, this language, this advancement of magic. Of course, everyone's trying to advance magic, but what are you looking for? Because if you're not going to tell me, I'm not going to help you. And I'm going
I've
to
told
start
you my
walking back
goals.
towards.
I've told you my ambitions.
I mean, you've told me you want to advance all of magic. You're not telling me the specific thing you're aiming for. Without that, I'm not going to help you. What are you trying to accomplish specifically? I saw the way you looked at my notes when it came to entrapping souls within powerful gems. Now you bring up the ruin stone, and it doesn't take a dunce to put two and two together. Fine. You want to keep that to yourself? That's okay. We're going to keep you safe, just like we have done this whole time. But until you are upfront with me,
He says, why are
what
you so
you're
cynical?
because, boy, I've seen and done much, much more
It is a
than you
shame
would
that
think.
a man like you will have lost sight of what makes artificers artificers.
Obviously not.
If
My
you
armor
wish
is
to advance your research, my resources are made readily available to you.
okay.
You have a
I
good
will
day.
I will take note of that. And when next we venture into your tower, if you would like to tell me exactly what you're working on,
He stands up and says, Tybalt Fox, Palpius. You guys have a good day. He walks.
I'm gonna walk by and be like, deuces.
I kind of I do like the and then just decide against saying anything.
And I'm just gonna walk back through the entrance to the tower. And as I walk past Tybalt, I'm like, he's a waste of our time.
I'm gonna ask you, do you want me to put my axe through his face?
No. He's down. He wants to keep things for himself. That's fine. I get it. But if he's not gonna be honest with me, why am I gonna share what I know? And I just walk out the door.
I briefly stop you as you're walking past me. I just say, I agree with you. We're good. Let's go.
To the docks. Tybalt, we'll be
This
outside.
this was 3 weeks ago.
What? This
Yeah, it
was 3
was.
weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so okay. Oh, so then I wouldn't have had my armor on, or we would have had none of this. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, this was
But
like
It
a
would have been
little.
it would have been theoretical at that
Yeah,
point.
because we didn't get to it
Yeah.
last week, so I
That's
just
right,
wanted
that's
to
right, yeah.
revisit that before we moved forward with the.
Okay, so then yeah, I wouldn't have pointed to my armor then. I would have just walked out and said, we'll leave you to it, man.
Mhm.
Tybalt, I'll be outside if you want to have words with the wizard.
And Tybalt only tells Galileo, "I'll be back in a few days with more food from the inn. I'll leave you to your studies for today. I believe you've had enough social interaction for one day."
And he stops, and before he gets to, as he's like opening the door to his study, he kind of stops and turns around and he says, Tybalt, your friend has the possibility to do much great in the world. And I fear that his past has made him cynical. I worry for him.
And Tybalt just says, "Had you had the same past as him, I think you'd be a bit cynical as well."
And he says, that I understand. And then he kind of looks over at Vox and Palpius.
Oh,
And-
Vox left. Yeah, Vox left with
Oh, okay.
Ebrath.
No,
And so did
I made a conscious decision when Ebrath was like, why are we gonna tell him anything else? I agree with him. I'm gonna back him on that because Galil's a little shifty and he might do some shit.
Okay. Do you want to like talk to him at all, or
we would have had
like,
3
do you have
weeks to
anything
go
you
back
want to
and visit.
ask, or?
No, I think I just like storm off after Ebrath.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, he will bid you adieu and close the doors to his study, and he leaves you to your deeds.
Can I make one note?
Sure.
I will say that if this happened at the very beginning of us getting back to Leylon, Ebrath would have cooled off somewhat and sent him a copy of my notes, but that only pertained to the manipulation of dragon shards. Would have completely excluded all of the rest.
Cool. Yeah, he would have sent you a very nice thank you letter, inviting you to use his facilities, to come and see his laboratory, but understands that you feel a certain way, and we will kind of leave it at that. But
Yeah.
wants to just reaffirm his invitation to work with him.
This fucking slimy fuck. He's hiding something, man. Fuck this guy. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't have responded. I wouldn't have shown my face in the whole 3 weeks.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think we would be having a conversation during that time. I would talk to Abrath and just say, look, as much as we can't trust him, we kind of need him. Nobody else around here knows what he knows.
And maybe that's
I don't
why
know
I
what
sent
we
him the
do with
notes.
that. I think we do limit what we tell him, but I would really like to know what he knows about interplanar beings. I mean, that's kind of who the fuck I am. And I don't know where I came from. Furthermore, I might have
Ooh.
a kid out there.
Hmm. After
If
that
anyone's gonna
conversation,
know anything about that, it's gonna
Yeah.
be Gallion. We kind of need him.
fine. And after that conversation is when I would have sent him the copy of the notes.
Perfect. Yeah. And still, he sends his invitation, but says that he respects your decisions, and all of that would still be.
I'll say I receive it at our estate after a day of working in the blacksmith. Without opening it, I would just toss it to Vox and say, let me know when he's telling me something I want to hear.
Yeah, I just rip it or I read it and then I just like throw it in the fire.
Not bothering to tell me what it says.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Now having a back to
Back
current
to
time, you guys are fucking Vox is stabbing things with the stabby things. Edgar's like fucking with his like new cloak and shit, just like watching the way the like amulet like gleams in the like fireplace light or whatever. Palpius is just passed out on the couch, snoring, and you hear a knock at the door.
I'll yell out and just
Who is
loud
it?
booming voice. Who is it?
And they'll say, hi, excuse me, I've got a message for the 99ers.
I think you're in the right spot.
And he says, so what are you guys like a sports team?
Are there sports on the Sword Coast?
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of sports, man. There's
Like?
Disc
oh, I don't know.
golf.
I don't watch sports. I just thought, it sounded like a team
Pickleball.
name.
Bowling. lawn
Pickleball.
darts.
Pickleball is so good.
Yeah, he says, I heard that the fairies take the tops off of mushrooms and throw them like frisbees into other flowers.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I know that. Fucking top flower. Yeah, I'm pretty good, man. I'm rank number 1.
Says, yeah, well, anyway, I got a message for you guys from Valdi Estepar. She says that she's all ready for you whenever you guys are to come down and meet her at the docks.
We were just on our way there. What's your name?
Oh, my name's Trevor.
Trevor.
Trevor, what a shitty name.
Oh, well, that's
I
really mean.
I was initially holding out like 5 silver, and then I just like recount and I just give them the 1 silver.
Oh my
Should I
god.
head over?
I love how Vox has this like vast amount of wealth, and he's just like, nah, I'm gonna take my tip back. Here's 1 silver. Is
I'll-
Vox a shitty tipper?
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and seeing that and that being that I insulted him, I'll toss him. I'll flip him a gold and say, sorry, dude.
Isn't it? I mean, a silver would be an appropriate tip for that, right? Isn't
Yeah, but a gold would be
kind of a lot of
insane,
money?
but also because I just insulted his name. So
Yeah.
He says, oh boy, thank you, mister. I've always wanted a gold piece. I've never had one before. What can I buy with a gold?
like a fucking building out here. I don't know, man.
Wow. I'm gonna do that. He scampers off.
Dude, just look at us fucking just destabilizing the fucking local economy. All fucking nasty.
Some merchant next door is like, I've worked 15 years for 1 gold.
I did honestly,
Their
I did read
economy's pretty normal. Like,
but I did,
Yeah.
but also still, that's still crazy. Like I read this whole Reddit post on D&D Next
yeah.
about how adventurers everywhere they go destabilize unknowingly the fucking local
Mhm.
economy. Like similar
Yeah.
to like Mansa Musa when he did this tour, like literally because he's like an actual person, right? When he did this tour through Africa, he insanely destabilized every economy because he was only paying in gold.
Was
And
that the
they,
yeah, that was the guy, he was like a prince
Mons-
from like Africa or
he
something,
was a
right?
king. He was a king.
Yeah, yeah, king, sorry. And he just
He
went
is
on a tour of showing everybody how rich he was.
well, yeah. So like he was like this king of this amazingly fucking rich, opulent economy in this very like successful kingdom. And he did this tour where he went like up to like Egypt and like down to the west and back to his like home kingdom, like over the course of like 5 years or something. And he would only pay in gold because like his kingdom was so rich. That was like one of the things.
Hmm.
And he destabilized. There's like historical records of him accidentally destabilizing all these tiny villages and small
Wow.
kingdoms
Yeah.
on accident. I'm like, and then there was like this
See,
post talking about
Vox is just an economist. He's not trying to,
well,
That's right.
well, there was this post talking about how that's what adventurers in D&D knew because
Yeah.
they don't understand what gold is like compared to
Yeah.
an average person.
Yeah. Also, the like
Elite.
economy kind of built into 5e is like kind of weird and like
Yeah.
but yeah. So anyway,
One day we'll have Edgar just lecture us on how terrible we are with money.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I remember that one time you left 100 gold on the table? Yeah, that fucked up generations.
Yeah.
Edgar just has like
The
spreadsheets.
inflation was insane. They never recovered.
In the ripple. Just imagine the whole neighborhood winning the lottery overnight.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. If they
Yeah.
never
And then trying to
dispersed,
run a
yeah.
business.
Tommy the town drunk from Fandolin, he bought his own brewery because you
You're
guys.
Bro, if that town never dispersed, fucking a gallon of milk would be $8,000. Like
Tommy
yeah.
only
Anyway,
brews
we're go-
reds though. Red ales.
only in Bruce Reds. Damn.
So before we
Valdi.
head out, Tybalt has had a crystal ball on the table
Mhm.
in the house, and he's been able to try and scry on people once a day. So if Vox or Ebrath or Palpius had anyone that they wanted to visit
Ooh.
and see if what they were up to, I know I'd be able to visit to, and I would have checked in on Ularn Mortis, seeing what he was up to, and Zeth,
Yeah.
because I did see him through the portal.
Yeah.
So I know both of them. Everyone else would be kind of a crapshoot, where because I hadn't. Well, I guess I did see Vox's
Lady friend.
yeah through a vision, so I would know what she looked like and could scry on her as well.
Fuck. Yeah, absolutely.
More importantly, my kid.
But we don't know what she looks
I've
like.
never met her.
he
Gotta
could
tap
try.
in.
There's
I could
like
try.
a DC to it.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, I could try. So let me know how many times I would have been successful at or rolled. I can roll for it too.
Yeah, sure. Well, tell
3
me.
weeks, man.
Yeah, I'll say.
Can I ask that
But like,
Ebrath-
I'm also not gonna do like 21 actual
Of
rolls.
course.
You know,
Sure.
like
Yeah,
Can I
that's why I'm like,
can
this is what I want to do. Let me know how it happens.
yeah.
I ask that Ebrath be present for the Zeth scryings so that
You could
Yeah,
even
one
say that
one
maybe you could even say that maybe Ebrath like approaches him about it and he's like, "Yo,
yeah. Like I'll say maybe like second or third night when you put up the crystal ball, he approaches Tybalt, and late at night when everyone's asleep, as you're setting it up and establishing your power through it, Ebrath comes over and is like, so I know what you, because Ebrath didn't see through the portal, right? Because I wasn't there. I think Tybalt
mm,
saw it and
yeah,
then would
Tybalt
have
saw it."
told me.
Mhm. He
Right,
saw
Tybalt,
it when he was like by himself.
You would have said that. Would you have said something to Ebrath about it?
Yeah, I think he did.
you know that he's alive. You know that he's alive.
I think he
You know
did
that
Right.
because
he's doing the
after
work for you, Lauren.
That's right. Yeah. That he
after that
now works
after
for
that
Lauren.
whole like mansion thing with the zombie or the vampire guy,
Right, it was mentioned.
I want to say you guys talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I'll say if you're able, I would very much like to try and find where my father is and see his condition. It's hard to believe that he is working for someone that has been previously his mortal enemy. I don't disbelieve you, Tybalt. I know you're a man of conviction, but I think I need to see it for my own eyes.
Seeing is believing. Let me see what I can do. And so at that point in time, Tybalt would have had a crystal ball and also a mirror sort of side by side, and he's like not sure which one to use, and he's like, both of these are options, and he sort of like picks up the mirror and hands it over to you at breath, almost like it's like an iPad. He's like,
Okay.
hold it, see Zeth's face in your mind, and he'll cast Scry
Okay.
using the mirror.
I have to make a save. A wisdom save.
Yeah,
19.
it's for Scry 19.
All your saves is 19 now.
Well,
I'm
there's certain
seeing
things that like
things.
there's additional modifiers
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
spell.
obviously, yeah, you could make them, but the baseline is gonna be 19 for all of his saves from now on.
Mhm.
I'm seeing a mixture, like for whatever reason. It
Oh,
might be
really?
because I did a manual override. I got to go through my stuff, but yeah, 19.
Cool. Um Where's my dice roller guy? Okay, so I rolled a 15 plus 2 for my wisdom bonus. And then, okay, let me read the spell real quick because. Okay, so you've met him, so the save modifier is 0 because you aren't familiar with him, but you've seen him. But you have seen him, so that's more than second hand. So I would say that's first hand for the knowledge. And then the connection, I like this picture.
It's actually 21 now. Because it's 19 plus 2. Because it's the faith of the gods.
Bitch, I shouldn't have given
That's
you that.
right. That's fucking right.
Okay,
That's-
yeah. So he fails his save. You can see in your crystal ball you can see Zeth the White working
Streaming on
in his
Twitch.
lab with a zombie on a table, seemingly fitting this undead creature with mechanical enhancements, kind of like zombie cyborgs. Um, you can see that he is undead himself. There is a magical necrotic energy about him that is kind of working through him. He is like attached to this like machine, like type of machine where he has almost like the Spider-Man with like the multiple arms, like the little like mechanical
Yeah.
arms, where he's able to like use those extra limbs as like extra hands in his like workings on his like desk or whatever it is he's doing, as he's kind of created this large, or he's working within this what appears to be a very large lab. Lots of undead, some being fitted with like mechanical eyes, like automaton would have, or like a warforged. Some having missing limbs replaced with warforged limbs, and you see that there is a lot of them.
And I'm seeing this, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting
Yeah.
right there with him.
Is there am I able to detect so I mean I guess I don't know how scrying works. So like I know I can see, but can I detect magic through the image?
I would say no.
Okay. Can I see through that image?
I will say, for you, having knowledge of what his arcane magic like looks like, it's not that color, or it's not that essence.
Got it. They're not fully autonomous. They're not fully autonomous in that they have their own souls.
I guess I should clarify and say that it's not his arcane power that's
Oh, infusing into these warforged.
yes.
It's something different.
Yes.
It's what's powering his undead body.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, kind of, yeah, exactly that. Like, how like when when Gon shoots his like magic, it's like Baja
Yeah.
Blast, like greenish blue.
Yeah.
It would be as if like one day you saw, Gon shoot a fucking, what's the beam that everybody does, the warlocks? Eldritch Blast. Yeah, it'd be like if he shot an Eldritch Blast and all of a sudden it was like bright purple, and like you'd be like, what the fuck, that's not normal.
Got it.
It's just
'Cause
like
I know the color of his energy because that's what powers
exactly,
blast.
exactly.
And I know that's not it.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm standing right next to Tybalt as it happens.
Yeah.
So I take a minute and I take all of that in. And I hand Tybalt the mirror and I walk out of the room. And before I leave the room that he's in, I take a deep breath and I say, thank you. When I walk out.
Vox, would you like to try to scry anybody?
Yeah, definitely. Tybalt, it's more difficult when you haven't met them, right? What are my chances of success here if you've never seen or met them?
Depends if you can paint me a picture well enough for me to see them in my head. I'll have a better shot.
These are going on like different days, right? Like, so
Yes,
Vox wouldn't
yes,
have
yeah.
seen this happen. Okay, got it.
And at this point, Ebrath would have gone first. By the time Vox approaches me, the mirror that I was using is put away, and only the crystal ball is on the table at this point.
Cool. So what are we doing?
Well, I've never met her myself, Tybalt. I saw her in a dream, and I'm still not fully convinced that she's even real, but I have this gut feeling. It's a little Genasi girl. I don't know if you've ever met any besides me, but there aren't many of us. She was kind of like my skin or my exterior. I don't even know what I have anymore, but she looked kind of like me, except blue. And in my dream, it was a tiny girl. It was a 4-year-old girl, just a little toddler. And she definitely had some kind of powers. I'm still trying to figure out and process what I saw, but that's really all I know. I hope that's good enough.
Did she have her hair? Your partner's hair?
I didn't even notice. I don't know.
Okay.
The only other thing I know is that she was able to create sparks, and it seemed like some kind of power that she would project into just doing childish things. She was just throwing rocks across a pond. That's it. That's all I know. She may not
Give it a
exist
shot.
for all I know.
Let's see if she does.
This is a game changer, man.
And hey, this could be really high DC, so
Okay,
do we
so
roll? Yeah, what do you want me
it's
to roll?
you. I don't think you roll anything.
Do you?
Well, let's see. You can see here a target must make. So the target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it. If a target knows you're casting the spell, it can fail the saving throw voluntarily if it wants to be observed. Okay, so your DC is 21.
21, but knowing that it's, vague, I don't know him that well
21.
or at all.
Yeah. Um Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Um, as you focus on your uh, newfound magical ability, you reach out into that divine kind of ethereal void that exists, and make your connection to the divination type of magic that you are um, dabbling in. Having that connection with Savras, it kind of makes sense that you've enhanced your abilities in sort of that sort of divination school of magic, having that divine power come directly from her, per se. Um, you see flashes in the ball, and you see a little girl that looks similar to how Fox described, and she is playing with some playing with three figures. Um, they have long, scraggly hair, very long, lithe, very like gaunt features, and long, like limbs and fingers and fingernails. And you can see that she's laughing and giggling as she uh, is playing with them, kind of each kind of having their own displays of magic, kind of entertaining her as she giggles innocently. Um, just the joy and brightness that comes with like a child's giggle, you know, um, just a pure soul. As that fades away, um, you see a flash of another scene of the young girl uh, looking out at the sea, looking over the side of a boat as she looks out to the sea with amazement and wonder and awe and curiosity, as she is looking to the horizon for the next adventure for her to find herself in, as she is just on a never ending adventure of life at such a young age. Um, she has seen more of the world than most people have, in their entire lives. And she's, what did we say, four? She is just so full of innocence and purity. And as you see her gazing out over the ocean, you see um, the boat that she is on is a barge made of skeletons and bones, and the image fades. You can't get quite a strong enough hold on her to see a solid real time image, but you're cracking the threshold just enough to get glimpses of parts of her life, parts of her magical essence that has been left as a like footprint in time. And you're able to tap into those, but you do see some images as I described, but not quite the full like closed circuit television viewing. She was able to succeed on her save.
Fox, if you had a message for her, what would that be?
I would say I think you're a part of me. I think you're my family. I need to see you.
So Tybalt will cast Sending, now having seen her
Mhm.
and knows her well enough to cast the spell. And will say, "Be not afraid, young one. You only hear me in your head. Your father is out there looking for you. He loves you and wants to see you."
And you'll just hear the softest voice reply, "Daddy?"
And Tybalt looks at Vox and says, I've made a connection with her. If you want to talk to her, I can be that vessel."
The kiss. The Cassandra in the background.
She's standing upside down.
Yeah.
I think you're on mute, Dave. Oh, there
No,
you
he's
go.
not.
I gotcha.
Oh, am I just
Just
quiet?
thinking. Yeah, he's just thinking.
Okay. Tybalt, just please one more message. I tell her I am coming to. Did we get a name for that like rough terrain area on the coast?
Yeah, you know that it's called the Thunder Cliffs.
Thunder Cliffs. Okay. I'll say I'm coming to the Thunder Cliffs soon. Please don't let your mother convince you to kill people, innocent people. I'm on my way to the Thunder Cliffs, and I can't wait to see you. I love you.
Shit.
So Tybalt sort of translates that to four-year-old speak and says, "Be
Don't do anything bad.
yeah." No, but first
Vox
he
is like,
says,
"Don't disembowel people and then bathe in their blood, please." To a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
says, have the grown-ups been talking about where they're headed? What is it called again? The
Thunder
Thundercliff.
Cliffs.
Thunder. Have the grown-ups been talking about heading to the Thunder Cliffs?
You'll hear a response, and it'll be that same voice, and she'll say, "Thundercliffs has friends, friends, friends. I miss friends."
And so he'll send the final message for the day and say, "There will be more friends at the Thunder Cliffs. You'll know us when you see us. Your father will be there too. He loves you so much, little one."
And she'll say, she'll say, Daddy friends too. We love Daddy.
The fuck does that mean? I just I just repeat. I just repeat what she said. Just Tibble says, "Daddy is friends too." Apparently.
I say the same thing. The fuck does that mean? Thank you, Tybalt. I owe you one. I don't know what all this is yet, but you've always had my back, and I appreciate it. This should be interesting. I sounds like she's real. I mean, she has to be real.
She is, and she'll be waiting at the Thunder Cliffs.
We need to go meet her.
We will in due time. Says Tibble 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Tybalt, is there anybody you would like to scry?
You, Lauren.
Just since we're doing it here. You, Lauren?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, you actually know him pretty well, so that gives you an edge. Okay.
Also, can I
I
just
would've-
say something real quick?
What?
4-year-olds don't sound like that.
Whatever, bro.
4-year-olds can fucking talk. That's like a
Okay.
2-year-old.
Sure. Whatever, dude.
He's just trying to play the game.
I'm just a guy, bro. I'm just a fucking guy in my 30s, okay?
I'm just saying.
Just trying
I'm
to
just
get
saying.
through life. I don't fucking know. Okay.
Could be underdeveloped, you know? so
Yeah,
not human.
that kid needs fucking. That kid is hella delayed. That's how they're talking at 4.
I mean, hey,
Um,
look at Voxy. Look at Voxy. Can't speak common.
yeah, I know.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you, man?
Fox is fucking.
Fuck.
Goddamn.
That will
Johnny
come
had to give
south.
me comment
That
out
will
of
come
two.
south.
It's like, damn, he
No, I've been
hasn't
awake. I
talked
just
to
been
me.
kind of
Yeah.
just waiting on
He's
this whole like,
Vox
I
is
love-
you
fucking.
know,
I love
D
how
and D,
Sal's-
Jerry Springer
Yeah,
trying to
so
find out my
basically-
kid.
Tibble basically
You're
said.
not the father.
Tibble basically said Vox is half retarded. So apparently
No,
his
no.
kid is the same.
Well, I kind of
Well, I
always
speak
believed
five
that a
languages.
little
I
bit.
speak 5 languages.
I like how Sal
Comment
hasn't
is
said
one of
anything for
them.
like 2 hours, and then as soon as somebody talks shit about Dave, he was like,
Bro, fucking Vox's
Oh, that's
4-year-old is
fucked up.
talking like he's a year and a half. The fuck is going on?
Well, Edgar pointed
5
out,
languages,
he
alright.
doesn't speak common, so
He's learning. He's learning.
all
maybe
right.
if it had a father, figure around to teach him.
Yeah.
It's like those dudes that
Vox's
come
4-year-old
from
barely
whatever
talks better
country
than my
and they-
fucking 14-month-old.
All right. So anyway,
English.
So, anyways,
anyways.
There's a language
Uh,
barrier, I guess.
let's go with that.
So you're scrying on Alarm Mortis.
Yeah.
mhm. Okay. Cool. And here.
So you better talk some shit, because now I'm gonna feel singled out here.
A better what?
Okay. Um.
Oh my god, this just reminds me of the Shane Gillis joke where he's talking about how fucking Down syndrome fucking nicked him. He's talking about
Yeah, I saw
Hey,
that
you
one.
never know,
how,
dude.
I
how
saw
it came
that
for
one.
it came for him and it fucking
Bro,
it
I'm
fucking
pretty
it
sure
nicked
I'm
me,
on
bro.
a
It nicked
spectrum.
me.
Like,
I'm something of a day walker myself. That's Vox. Vox is a day walker.
Damn.
That's fucked up.
His daughter's probably just, high on Capri Suns right now.
Oh man.
Okay, Edgar. You are not
Somebody get
able
her a grilled
to
cheese.
get a view of Ylar Mortis. He passes his save.
In the days that follow, I'm also gonna scry on Harbin West Virginia.
Okay,
Cuts.
that's fucking
Didn't
dope.
expect that
I
one,
didn't
bro.
expect that one. No, not at all.
Fuck you up.
I swear, you're like every game, you're not prepared for shit like that, bro.
Hey, there's some randomness.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, you get a good view of him. He is sitting at a table, enjoying a meal. It is a very he's sitting at a very large dining, almost banquet table, with very fine like decorations on the like table spread. There's large plates of just like cooked meats and vegetables and fruits and just all these like delicacies as he's sitting at this like king's feast of a meal. As he is in conversation, you hear the voice of, excuse me, the voice of um oh, what's his freaking name? Damn it, sorry. Um Halia Thornton. Sorry, her name.
Ah, bitch.
You hear the voice of Halia Thornton. It's a voice you've heard before, Tybalt. As they are laughing jovially, just kind of fucking around and just living the lavish life as they turn and look over and you see a couple kind of in their uh like middle-aged kind of looking half elves who are very elegant and what
No, sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
bitch. um fucking threw me off. Okay, yeah, you see this older kind of middle-aged half elf couple dressed very elegantly in very fine clothing, and as you can see more of the room, you see the family portrait of the Turellians and their young son on the painting behind the table.
And I immediately cast sending to Harbin West Virginia and say, in a whisper, I know where you are. You can't hide from me. Say hi to the Turellians, or better yet, we'll say hi when we get there.
And in your head, you'll hear, oh, what? Who's there? I hear you in my head. You will never find me. I have the resources to evade you.
And then over the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna keep scrying on him to see where he's at. I'm gonna cast sending and try and break him.
Yeah, and I'll say that, a couple times you are able to make that connection with the scry, and you can cast the message pretty much any day, but you will see him kind of just living lavishly alongside the Turellians, and his co-conspirator. I can't think of her name, Haley Thornton. Um, and yeah, they seem to be like talking to a lot of like the higher end crowd. Their mini trips into Neverwinter, into very large estates, having dinners with seemingly very important people in the Kingdom of Neverwinter. Lots of handshakings, lots of shared foods, lots of shared laughs, lots of shared wine. As he is seemingly going on a tour of the connections that the Turellians enjoy.
One of my sending casts, I'm gonna send a message over to Tribor to tell him to pause the manhunt. Harvin Wester Jr., his brother, is with the Turellians, and for now is seemingly untouchable, unless we want more trouble.
Tribor will thank you for your confirmation of his brother's whereabouts. He's seemingly a bit like grateful to hear that he's alive. You know, also anger. You know, obviously he's very angry at his brother, but yeah, I would say that he is a little bit grateful to hear that Harvin's alive. Because last they heard, it was kind of up in the air. And he'll thank you for letting him know, and will advise that if they get any wind of, what they're up to, they would be in contact with you.
Check in with some regularity.
Cool. All right, guys. I think that's a pretty good stopping spot.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
I tell Gon that Harvin Wester is with his parents.
Gosh,
Damn.
fuck
Only
that
only because Julio walked in, because as you were saying.
Oh, sexy.
What's up, Julio?
What's up, Julio? Your move.
And I, after my screening session, tell Dave, tell Vox in very slow, halting sentences what I saw was Zeth, just so we can understand it in common.
Well,
I forgot.
No, he has comment. I gave him comment.
I know,
You did
but
give
it
him
was just,
comment.
it's so funny. It's so funny.
How he
yeah.
does. We've been adventuring enough to where he knows.
He would have learned it.
Certain languages.
Dude, yeah, so
He knows
you know-
words.
Tibble,
good.
You know what
with your high perception, Tibble, you will see that whenever you guys speak in common, you always see Vox kind of like squint his eyes and pay attention real
It's like-
close.
So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
forgot as one of my features, I can learn any language as long as I've been paying attention to it within like in enough amount of time.
Yeah, mine all
I totally
have
forgot.
like really interesting origins where it's like my sworn enemies, I know their language, which is cool.
That's cool.
But there's a whole like reason I know all of those different languages. Mostly because the favorite enemy. But like with all the levels I get in Ranger, I think it is, they give me and then I think even one for Blood Hunter, I feel like I got one for that too. So I have like most languages. Just common was one. Ronnie was nice enough to be like, you fucking know common.
I was like,
Just
how do you
got by
not
the
know
book.
common, dude? Like,
I know. I don't. I feel like that's a glitch or something. Oh, so anyway, I was looking at my armor class. So it's giving me a random +1 miscellaneous bonus for my hybrid transformation. I think that's what I don't know how to fix it. I tried changing it from transformed to not transformed. Watch, I'll share my screen with you guys.
okay, I'm
Stop
gonna
stream.
end
I
the
don't know if you're
screen.
even
The
streaming
stream.
this
Yeah.
time.